Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, we are talking about something that has just happened over the weekend. This is very new, this is very fresh, and it's still kind of ongoing at this precise moment in time when I'm recording this. And this is truly one of the most shocking tattoo scandals I think I'll ever cover, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know if it can get any worse than this. So in today's video, I'll be talking about a tattoo artist who goes by the name Anarchist Tattoos. Their real name, according to their Instagram, is Ella, and this tattoo artist is from Tennessee. So this tattoo artist, Ella, has decided to take social media clickbait far too far. And I'm not talking about the silly little fake face tattoos that I have covered over the past year or so, where I'm like, oh, for God's sake, this is so stupid. People are doing literally anything for views nowadays. What Ella has done is so harmful, so disgraceful. I actually can't believe that this is real. You know, in like 2024, Ella decided to spread misinformation and drama over HIV, the virus that has so much stigma and misinformation about it as it is. And this artist decided to use it for views and engagement on social media. Rightfully so, Ella has been called out already. Again, this is very new, but there is more and more people talking about this as time goes by. I want to take a moment to talk about HIV. I'm sure the majority of you know what it is, how you get HIV, what the origins are, but in case you aren't aware, or you need a refresh, or you have maybe been misinformed sometime in your life, which happens quite a lot with this virus, unfortunately. Even though there has been a lot more research and awareness for HIV, there's still so much that is said that is wrong about it. But I just want to take a moment to talk about it because it's very, very important, I believe. All the information that I'm about to say, I have got from what I would deem reputable informational websites. I obviously knew what HIV was before all of this. I knew the majority of the facts about HIV before making this video, or the notes for this video, but I just want to let you know that I still fact-checked myself, and I highly recommend that should you have any questions or concerns about HIV, then please do research on it. I'm obviously not a medical professional, I'm not claiming to be a medical professional, but yeah, just look into it. Please and thank you. So what HIV is a virus that damages your immune system, and it basically makes it so your body cannot fight infections and other diseases that your body would normally be able to fight off or protect you from. If HIV isn't treated, it does take many years to get to the point where it's done too much damage and then it becomes AIDS. It's believed that HIV was spread from chimpanzees to humans in the 1930s. There was this whole situation where there was hunters basically hunting chimpanzees, and infected chimpanzees' blood ended up being contaminated with human blood. That's how humans got HIV. This then spread between humans across Africa, and then it obviously spread further than Africa, and now it obviously has reached most of the world. You can get HIV through sharing bodily fluids. For example, someone with HIV's blood comes into contact with you, someone that doesn't have HIV, through cross-contamination, so some of their blood will get into your bloodstream. This is much more likely to happen with people that share needles, or having a blood transfusion from someone that does have HIV. Obviously there is precautions to prevent that from happening, but it obviously has happened in the past. You can also get HIV through unprotected sex, whether that is vaginally, anally, oral as well, but there is a smaller risk of getting HIV through oral sex. It obviously can happen if you have some sores in your mouth or irritated gums or something like that, like if you have an open wound within your mouth. Still to this day, people think they can get HIV from just simply hugging someone with HIV or shaking their hand. Heck, there's people out there that think you can get HIV by simply breathing the same air as someone with HIV. There was a huge epidemic that started in the late 1970s going into the 1980s as HIV began to spread pretty rapidly. Those with HIV were and still are treated incredibly unfairly. It was mostly gay men that were ridiculed for having HIV. It was once known as the gay disease because gay men at one point were mostly affected by it in the western side of the world, so America, England, what have you. But of course, all walks of life were at risk of having HIV and still are to this day. One example of someone super famous that had HIV that then led to AIDS is Freddie Mercury, who was the singer of Queen. He sadly passed away because of it, and still to this day people make horrible jokes about his death. Homophobic people use HIV and AIDS to make homophobic jokes. Are we shocked? No. But this is something that still happens all day, every day. Even today with modern medicine and research, where people with HIV can lead a very, very normal life and get to the point where HIV isn't even detectable within their blood anymore. You know, modern medicine is freaking amazing and wonderful, but obviously this isn't accessible to absolutely everybody. Everything that I'm saying here honestly just scratches the surface. There's so much damage that the misinformation about HIV has done. I can't even, like, I'd be sitting here for hours trying to tell you all about it. So let's get back to Ella, the tattoo artist that used HIV for social media content, okay? So how I come across this story is from another tattoo artist by the name of Zachary, who I've been following for a little while. We have had one interaction in the past because we've both had our palm tattooed by Luke Ashley, so we had a moment there where we spoke about it. Other than that, I haven't really ever spoke to Zach, but I've followed him for a while. Anyway, Zachary uploaded a TikTok yesterday talking about Ella and Ella's TikTok, where she uploaded a TikTok talking about a client that she had that had HIV. I'm going to do this for client from now on because I truly don't know if this story is real. It's all a hot mess. We'll uncover it all within this video. But Zachary never mentioned who this tattoo artist was in his TikTok. Me being me though, okay? Little internet detective over here. I found out who it was very quickly. But yeah, when I first watched Zachary's TikTok, I literally couldn't believe it. I was just like, what are you even talking about? There is just no way. There's just no way, okay? So this is how Zachary's TikTok started out.
There's a tattooer on here who just posted a video about doing a tattoo for someone who is HIV positive. And of course her stitches are off, so let's talk about it. Basically, she finds out halfway through an appointment that her client is HIV positive and freaks out and throws the machine in the trash and throws her arm stand in the trash and kicks the client out.
Like I was saying, I could not believe what Zachary was saying. Like, I was hoping and praying that it was an over-exaggeration, and I've never known Zachary to over-exaggerate in his content ever. So I was just like, what? And he's not. So let's jump to Ella's TikTok real quick. This is how the TikTok from Ella starts.
I was put at a huge risk today.
Yep, okay, what the fuck? What the fuck did we transport back to 1980s where everyone was fear-mongering about HIV? This is already so harmful from the start. Ella then goes on to talk about how she discovered that her client has HIV.
I was doing a tattoo today, and the first like 20-30 minutes were completely fine. Then after that, this dude starts bleeding profusely. He's bleeding so bad that the blood is actually kind of like pooling up and like running down his arm. I kind of lightheartedly was like, hey dude, like, have you been drinking alcohol? Are you on any blood thinners? Because you're bleeding like a fuck ton. His girlfriend was with him and was sitting like 2 or 3 feet away from me in a chair. And she put her 2 cents in. She said, babe, I think maybe you should tell them. And I'm like, tell me? What do I need to know? So I'm staring at the dude and I'm like, speak. And he says, yeah, I have the HIV. What? So I rip my gloves off and I go over to the paperwork section and I'm looking at this piece of paper and I'm flipping it every single direction, upside down, backwards, like to try to find where he made the little check mark that he had a communicable disease, and nothing was checked. He actually check marked that he did not have any diseases. I was so angry. I walked over to my booth and I told him, I said, get the fuck up. I said, get the fuck up. I need to clean. In the midst of me cleaning, he's like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, and that's why I didn't mark anything because, you know, I didn't really want anyone to know. Hello, I'm literally tattooing you. I am dealing with your blood, and you don't think it's appropriate for you to tell me that I need to take like a million extra precautions because you're positive.
Should the client have filled out the form correctly and honestly? Yes. Without a doubt, they should have, okay? I cannot stress enough just how important it is to fill out tattoo forms honestly and correctly. It makes everything so much better for you and your tattoo artist. It makes everything safer, and that will then lead to a very nice, comfortable, chill tattoo appointment. So please do just be honest with your tattoo artist. There is procedures in place should you not anyway, which I'm going to cover in this video anyway. But it's just best to be open and honest straight away. That being said, it's people like Ella who create drama and scandal and shame out of HIV, which leads to people not being open and honest about the fact that they have HIV because they're ashamed, they're embarrassed, they are worried about the fact that they may be discriminated against because of people like Ella. To a huge population in the world, HIV is a dirty word. People are scared of HIV and those with it. Still to this day, there are people that will run a mile from people with HIV just out of fear. And for the most part, it probably does come from misinformation and lack of education for sure. But there's no excuses in 2024. It's deeply infuriating and upsetting to see a professional that should know better act this way. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Ella, honestly? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I hope Ella sees this and witnesses me say this right now to you. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's honestly revolting behaviour. You should know better as a grown adult, as someone that should have been trained to deal with these types of situations. Like, ugh, nasty ass bitch, I swear to God. I don't know what, go fuck yourself. Anyway, in Zachary's TikTok, he made this great point, which is something I was aware of, but I'd rather it come from a professional's mouth instead of mine.
And I'm sitting here watching this video thinking, did you do bloodborne pathogen certification? Because literally the first thing you learn is that you should be using universal precaution. That means you should be treating all blood as if it's potentially contaminated, not just blood of clients who disclose. That is how we keep ourselves and our clients safe.
So I want to read something from the NHS website that says most people infected with HIV experience a short flu-like illness that occurs 2 to 6 weeks after infection. After this, HIV may not cause any symptoms for several years. This is why people who deal with bodily fluids all day, every day, so you've got dentists, nurse, doctors, paramedics, even firefighters, piercers, tattooers, people that do injectables and what have you, have to treat everybody as if they have HIV and other viruses and diseases, because patients and clients can sometimes have absolutely no idea that they have things like HIV, because there's a chance that they're not symptomatic. It could be any of us. So those that deal with bodily fluids all day, every day have to treat everybody as if they do have something, just in case. And you are taught this within your apprenticeship and when you do bloodborne pathogen training. This is why I get so immensely over the top about people that just take tattooing so lightly and decide to teach themselves to tattoo and then start tattooing all their friends and their family and then their family's family and then their friends' friends. Do you know what I mean? And they've not done the proper training and they're putting themselves at risk and other clients at risk because they haven't done the proper training and they are not aware of stuff like this. So I want to read some comments now to discuss this a little bit further. Someone said on Zachary's video, clients should disclose, detectable or not, artists should be more professional as well. I worked as a CNA and they couldn't tell us what we were exposing ourselves to because we all should have been practicing universal precautions. Are you really acting like this person shouldn't have disclosed? Do you really think someone who puts needles in people for a living shouldn't treat all blood like it's contaminated? I want to highlight this so hard because I know there's going to be a few people being like, well, yeah, the person should have disclosed, which, yeah, okay, sure, but at the end of the day, what about in emergency situations? Say a paramedic heads to a road traffic accident. The driver is in a bad shape, knocked out, can't answer a thing, practically near death, okay? They're bleeding profusely. Is that paramedic not going to treat this person just in case they have HIV? Could you imagine a paramedic being like, oh, no, I can't treat this person because they can't tell me if they have HIV or not? No, get a grip. The paramedic has to deal with it and just treat everybody as if they have something. It should be the same with tattoo artists, just in case, someone doesn't know they have HIV or they're just too scared to say so. Again, I will encourage people to say so because it makes everything better for everyone involved, but please, let's be realistic. But imagine if she got poked on accident and he lied on that form. Practice the proper precautions. Exactly. Tattoo artists are trained to deal with this. There is ways of handling this situation. If a tattoo artist was to accidentally prick themselves with a needle that was used on someone with HIV, there is precautions in place that they should know about. You go straight to hospital, say, hey, I've been in contact with a needle that has been used on someone that has HIV. I know someone's going to bring up the fact of, well, this tattoo client didn't say that they have HIV on the tattoo consent form or didn't tell the tattoo artist. What about other tattoo clients that potentially don't say they have HIV and then a tattoo artist accidentally pricks themselves with a needle that has been used on them? No matter what the situation, every tattoo artist, when they accidentally stab themselves with a needle that has been used on a client, they should go to hospital to get testing. Reading from the NHS website, it says emergency HIV drugs. If you think you've been exposed to the virus post-exposure, prophylaxis medicine may stop you becoming infected. PEP must be started within 72 hours of coming into contact with the virus for it to be effective. It's only recommended following higher risk exposure, particularly where sexual partner is known to be positive. Obviously, again, with sharing needles, that's obviously important too. PEP involves taking HIV treatment every day for a month. You should be able to get PEP from sexual health clinics or hospitals, which is obviously where a tattoo artist would go, okay? There was quite a few comments like this on Zachary's TikTok, but then, of course, people that have sense and knowledge come into play, and I'm so grateful because it's very educational, so I'm going to read some of those. Same thing in dentistry, patients don't always disclose their med history, so I just rely on universal precautions always. She doesn't deserve her job. There's a saying amongst healthcare workers that applies to tattooers as well. When it comes to precautions, assume everyone has everything. Fucking sickening. When I have someone disclose, I tell them I appreciate the transparency, though it is unnecessary, because I use universal precautions with everyone. Nurse, I've done needle sticks, wound care, worked in cath lab and OR with HIV positive patients and did not implement a single precaution I didn't with other people. This artist not only didn't understand precautions, but also how bloodborne pathogens are transmitted. That pisses me off. What about clients who don't know they're HIV positive? What about clients with other bloodborne illnesses? Always stay clean and sanitized no matter who the client is. Treat all blood like it's contaminated. It's our job to provide a safety environment for everyone. I hope we all now understand that there is precautions in place for people that deal with other people's bodily fluids all the time. So there is absolutely no reason to freak out. And add on to the harmful discrimination that people with HIV face all the time. Anyway, back to Ella's TikTok. This is where Ella admits this.
I was like way too freaked out, so I actually tossed my machine. My machine is in the trash, and I have tossed my armrest. That's in the trash too.
Again, if you are a trained professional, you know you don't need to be doing this. So what Ella is doing here is so incredibly harmful. This is basically a professional tattoo artist being like, ew, oh my goodness, HIV blood, ew, oh my goodness, it's so disgusting, everything is infected, oh my goodness, it's tainted, I can never use this ever again, it has to go into the trash. Instead of, I don't know, cleaning it. Do you know how much it would suck to see this content as someone with HIV? Do you know how worthless and ashamed you would feel to see a professional tattoo artist that should know better act like this? Can you just imagine being this client watching this? I'd be mortified. This is disgusting. It's disgraceful. And there's people out here wondering why people hide the fact that they have HIV. I still can't believe this is a thing.
And the guy said, man, you don't have to get so angry about it. That pissed me off even more. And I kind of like turned the tables on him, and I was like, what if the tables were flipped and your wife or girlfriend was a tattoo artist and I was you? He left the shop saying I was the asshole. Yeah, I probably was.
There's no probably here. Ella is the arsehole, and that's putting it politely. I would much rather call her a see you next Tuesday. And not in the nice endearing way that Brits and Australians say it either, okay? And this is where it gets worse. Maybe, I don't know, it's all a bit shit if you ask me. Like I said earlier, there is a chance that this whole story is just made up, which I don't know, does that make it worse or better? Because I guess it makes it kind of better because there's not an actual real client involved here that's been harmed, you know, left to bleed out in the street after being kicked out of the tattoo studio. But then if it's not real, then why does Ella have such a vendetta towards those that have HIV? And to create content like this, like, I don't know what's worse, a real client or a fake story about HIV. Like, so there's been a couple of comments on Zach's TikTok that say she's now saying she made the whole story up. And then someone else said she actually admitted in the comments section of a stitch that she made it up to get money and views on TikTok. So when I noticed these comments, I was like, huh, what the hell is going on here? So I went to investigate Ella's TikTok once more. And what do you know? Ella deleted the HIV TikTok. It's now gone. Ella did a dirty delete. And then a few moments after Ella deleted the HIV TikTok, Ella decided to upload the most dire apology I think I've ever seen. Are we shocked? No, not at all.
I made a video that was a clickbait video about HIV. That being said, it was a very poor judgment video. I wasn't exactly thinking about those that I was hurting as I was making the video, and for that I'm 100% and deeply, genuinely sorry. I guess I didn't really think the impact it would have on others, and I wasn't really thinking about what I was saying and how it could harm others.
Ella didn't think that using HIV, a highly discriminated against disease, as clickbait would be a big deal. I'm literally too stunned to speak.
HIV is a very, very, very serious thing, and it sucks that people have to deal with it.
HIV is a very serious thing, and it sucks that people have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Ella is out here talking about HIV like it's a common cold. Are you for real? How can one person be this out of touch in 2024? I don't think Ella fully grasps what they've done.
And me making a clickbait joke video about it was completely unacceptable, and for that I apologize. I'm not gonna sit here and deny that I made the video, because I did, and it was extremely poor judgment. I am owning that I made a mistake, and I'm going to do what I can to try to right my wrong. So to the public, I am genuinely deeply sorry. I hurt a lot of you guys with that video, and it was wrong, and I'm pretty mad at myself that I said the things that I said and did the things that I did. You live and you learn, and rest assured, that will not be happening again.
This doesn't scream, I'm sorry I got caught, then I don't know what does. This is such an empty apology to me, and obviously I'm not affected directly by what Ella has done here. But as apologies go, this to me is so unheartfelt. It's dead. It's so cold. There is no awareness or facts. Ella didn't even try to correct the misinformation she said within the first TikTok by saying what I did and what I said about throwing out stuff is misinformation. You don't need to do that. I was just making a TikTok and I was being dramatic about the whole situation. Like, if you're going to do an apology, make sure you correct everything that you have done wrong. There was no sincere apology to those that have HIV. Ella literally said, to the public.
To the public, I am genuinely deeply sorry.
What the fuck? Like, what? Are you for real right now? It's very much a I'm sorry I got caught apology. And then, okay, Ella starts like doubling down within the comments as well. Someone said, what was the point though? Clickbait for what? For hate views? I'm just confused on how anyone would even slightly think making a fake video like that was acceptable. Ella said, like I said, it was a poor judgment choice. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm trying to own mine. A poor judgment choice? Are you for real right now? Everyone makes mistakes. Are you for real right now? This isn't a mistake. This was a choice. Ella chose to create this obscene content. For what? It wasn't a joke. You were being serious and now you're backpedaling because you didn't get the response you were hoping for. I'm trying to apologize for a mistake I made and take accountability for it. Everyone makes mistakes and I made a huge one. All I can do is apologize and move forward. No! This wasn't an apology! It was, I'm sorry I got caught. There is a... God, this stresses me out so much. And since I've wrote my notes and gone to sleep and now I'm here filming it, Ella decided to delete this apology also. And now Ella has decided to delete their TikTok account. We've gone from I'm owning my mistakes, I'm not going to hide from the fact that I did this, to now deleting everything. What happened to owning your mistakes, boo? What happened to, oh, it was only a mistake, I'm trying to apologize for it? When people run, it screams guilt to me. It screams I'm hiding because I can't handle the heat of my actions. The whole running from the situation is so much worse than actually owning up to it, actually making heartfelt, sincere apology, trying to rectify your mistakes. Because now, what are you going to do? You're going to hide forever? Or when are you going to come back? Because now you're going to just be known as the tattoo artist that made fake social media content about HIV. That is now your reputation because you didn't handle it correctly. Like, you made your bed, lay in it, I guess, honey. That's on you, boo-boo. That is so on you. I don't think there is any coming back from this, to be honest with you. And honestly, rightfully so. A tattoo artist like this doesn't deserve to be a tattoo artist. You do not deserve to work alongside clients in all walks of life. It's getting to the point now where tattoo artists making content like this are really starting to give me the ick. Why are they constantly using their clients, real or fake? Why are you making up fake stories about this if it's fake? Or why are you using your real clients to shame them for content, for views, for clicks, for engagement? Like, that is so unprofessional to me. Sometimes it's like educational, lighthearted, or what have you. All right, we can get past that, but this, disgusting. Yeah, I cannot stress enough that this channel has always been and always will be a HIV safe space. If there's any like super negative comments towards HIV or anything, again, I don't really police my comments ever. I never really have to. Like I've said in quite a few videos, I'm incredibly lucky. I have such a safe and welcoming community. It's honestly so wonderful, and I have in good faith that the majority of people watching this are very open-minded and very accepting of all walks of life. But should a few fall through the cracks, you'll either be cussed out by me or your comment will just be deleted. So I don't want anyone to feel unsafe while reading through my comment section. It's not the move. It's not like, please stop. Get a grip, touch some grass, read a book. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you all stay safe and well, and until my next one, bye.